Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Here we are again. I thought I would show you guys how I make these seed packet envelopes. That's what most people call them, but you can add them to journals. You can use them as a separate little gift bag. And there's lots of different papers you can use, different ways that you can use them. So these ones I have are made from a fairy tale book. So they're fun. They had such a pretty paper. And then later on, if they're in a journal, they could be colored. You could add other fun textures. So like with anything, I like to make a bunch in advance so then I can grab whatever I think is interesting and put into a journal. So these ones are made from Book Page. This is also from Book Page. So this is from a gardening book. And then here's another one from a gardening book. So you can have a lot of fun. You can put them in your journal either way. So you can have back facing forward, front facing forward, either way. Some more scrapbook papers, some pages from this funny little calendar I had, things like that. Any size, so you can use up some scraps too if you want to make some tiny ones, which are super cute to add to a page. So there's some examples. So these are pretty simple to make. Doesn't require a lot of cutting, but you do need a scissors. Scissors are really helpful. You can use regular scissors, you could use some design scissors, and then you need some paper. So I grabbed a couple of things here just to show you how we could do these. And you don't even have to worry about what sizes, really, but you can make them whatever size you want. So first we are going to overlap. So I'm going to make one without cutting anything on the sides first. So we overlap probably about 1/4 of an inch, maybe more. And then just folding it pretty straight. So that's it. So we have it's kind of like a tube. And then this is where the fun part comes. So what I like to do first is I'll do a bunch of these this way. Now I'm going to glue down this center line. So I'm just throwing some glue down here. And then folding that, give it a good smoosh. So that's our first step. So fold, glue. I'm going to do another one right away. So this is a fun one. So we're going to go here and here. I'm going to try and line up that design as evenly as possible. So it's about the same on either side. Once again, like I overlapped quite a bit on that one. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go right to the edge of the picture. So if you do have a picture or something on your paper, that can help you decide where you want to have that fold. And see, that was not enough. Sugar beans. So let's fix that. See? Love it when I don't do it quite right on camera, and then you can see how we fix it, okay? They don't have to be perfect. Let's see, is that about the same? It's too much before and then not enough the second time. That's pretty close. Okay. Now I'm going to look and see which side of this I want. Do I want this side or this side? I think I want this side out. Okay. Not that it's probably going to matter too terrible much because we are going to be doing some other folding here too. So glue down that flap like so. I'm going to do, let's do a book page here. I'm going to do a tall one. So this is pretty, this is cute. So same way, we're going to fold it and fold it. And this one is not going to be centered perfectly, and that's okay. Should make sure I'm on camera here so that I'm not cutting off. Okay. All right, same thing. We're going to glue down that flap all the way. You can use glue stick for this too. If you have a heavy duty glue stick, I'm using art glitter glue. So there's the third one. Let's do one more here. So this is just dictionary. Let's go with this side. I want a flower sticking out. Once you've done a few of these, you kind of realize like how much you need to fold them over too. And it is nice when they have like a line or a guide for you. Same thing, gluing it. So these are a really quick, fun pocket. Usually the thing that takes you the most time for any of this kind of stuff is decorating, to be honest. All right, and then this is really cute. I want this to be the main. Oh, this is nice too. Okay, so which one do we want? Do we want this garden or do we want this garden? Well, let's do this one, I guess. Oh, I like the sunnies though, so let's do it the other way. I like the sunnies. And see, this edge is torn. It's not even, so that's okay. And we might cut this down to make 2 since it's so tall. It'd be way too tall to fit into a book on its own. So I didn't really clean off my desk before getting started here. That's all right. All right, give that a good fold, and it wasn't quite straight. That's all right. See if we can adjust it slightly. Yep, here we are. All right, I'm gonna glue this first, and then we will go ahead and start the next step. All right, so that is that. Giving it a nice smooshy smoosh. All right, so we'll move to the front of the stack here. Now, this is kind of the fun part. So if you want to think about where your flap's going to go on the bottom, so let's do the bottom part first. All right, so we're going, and you can have the seam but facing the back, or you could have the seam facing the front. It really depends on which way you want to do these and how you want your closure to go and things like that as well. So I'm going to do seam forward on this one. Now you can give yourself a little line to cut, and this is very similar to how we did the bottoms of the little bags, the little bag pockets. So now I have a cut line, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use a regular scissors. So I am angling and angling. If you want to be precise, you can use something that is going to give you a precise cut. Now we're going to cut off this inside part here, right along our line, like so. Okay, now we have a nice little flap on the bottom. Okay, pretty simple. Before we glue this, we're going to do the top because it's easier to do this when the flap is open. Now you're going to, this is the easiest way that I've done it. There are other ways to do this. So I squish this so that my folds are together like that. I kind of line it up. Now this is the fun part. So what you're going to do is you're going to give this a little crease so you know where your center is. Now you're going to go straight in and then scoop up and then round off. Okay, so it makes kind of like a curve. Now when you open it, ta-da, like that. Okay, and you can change that design, that angle. You could make it straight, you can make it however you want, but then this can be left open so you wouldn't have to make a fold. Or if you want to put it in a journal to like tuck something in, put a little bulb pin on it or something like that, make a little tab, tassel, you can do that as well. So now we'll glue the bottom, and see how that was overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to trim that just a little bit more. This helps reduce a little bit of bulk in your journal if you take off some of those layers. Okay, So now I'm putting the glue on the flap and then just folding it up. Okay, so that is done. Okay, so let's do another one. Do this one more time. So I want this to be the focal point. So I'm gonna have the flap come this way, I think. Yeah. Oh, she's so cute down there too. All right, so same thing. We're gonna fold our bottom a little bit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fold this high enough so I can save that little mermaid to put on something else when we cut one of these, when we cut that flap. So I'm gonna do it that way. So I'm going to nip and nip, and then pull her forward so that I can cut her off like so. So basically that fold line just gives you a guide to cut, and you can always trim it a little bit more if you want, like we did on that last one. You're not gonna see it, so if it's not crooked, or if it's crooked, it's no big deal, okay? So that's gonna go like that, but you know what I'm gonna do with this one, because I wanna keep that design, I'm gonna tuck this one inside and glue that on the inside because I wanna see her. So that's not super even, but you know what? We can decorate it and it's gonna be beautiful. So I'm gonna glue that like that. So you can modify your designs based off of your paper. If you don't wanna cover up something sometimes, totally fine. Do what's fun, but look, because we did that, I saved her so we can use her on something else. Okay, so this is gonna be the front of this envelope. So I want the flap to go the other way, because if that flap comes this way, well, you know what? It's not a terrible idea for it to go either way, because we can just tuck this into a pocket. So you know what? I am gonna have the flap go down on the other side. So this can be a full thing that we tuck in and we don't glue onto something. So I shouldn't have glued the bottom. This is gonna make it more difficult. Silly me. We can still do it. It'll be a little crinkly, but that's okay. It'll give it character. But now you get to see my mistakes as we go. I'm not going to do this one as big as I did the last one. So I'm just gonna cut a straight line here. And then I am just going to cut, I'm gonna nip those corners on that side like this. Okay, so it's gonna be straight. So see how that worked? And now we have a perfect little envelope here, like that. And then will this fit on here? Ho, see, I can trim that down and we can put her on there too. That'll be fun. Okay, so that one is another way to do it. You got to see me work through some mistakes. So this is a nice tall skinny one. We got that set up like that. So same thing here on the bottom. I'm gonna bring it to the back. We're gonna nip. Actually, I'm gonna make this shorter. There we go. And then one more. Like that. Okay, so then that'll go there. Now the top, same thing. I'm gonna go here like this. And this one is gonna be a big exaggerated flap. Okay, so then that goes like that. So there are some fun ways you can glue these into books and put them into books. Let's do one with the design scissors here. So I'm going to nip, nip, These are a little harder sometimes. And I'm going to do the edge here. I'm going to cut off the fold with the regular scissors. Okay, so that's ready to go. So that's going to fold up like that. Now the top is going to be the same way. Pinch it together. And then we're going to make that swoosh. So I'm going to make this one really exaggerated again. Going all the way around like that. Okay, so that one's ready to go as well. I'm gonna glue this. This has like some extra rumples down here. I'm just gonna tear it off the bottom and I'm gonna leave them the rest. Okay, so there's that one. Oh, look how that got there. That's great, the wild geranium. Okay, last one. So if you ever do a big piece like this, let's see what we can do. I'm gonna cut it here, right about here. See, once you've done a few of these, you kind of know how it goes. And then we're gonna cut in here. Like so. And that goes like that. Okay. And probably about, so bringing those folds together and then pinching it out even. And I don't want to cover up any of that, so we're gonna start here. Heavier paper. This is some thicker book page here. And if you don't like the way that your closure is, you can always cut it down differently. Okay, so then that can go like that. Like so. Glue this, and then let's decorate one really quick. Another thing you can do is once you've cut these, you can do a little bit of inking on them beforehand if you would like. So we're gonna say, oh, that is not straight up there. Or is it just because I'm off? Let's see. Let's try and make our top edge a little straighter. It's throwing my eye off here a little bit. There we go. That's better. All right, let's decorate this one really quick. So I'm gonna do a little inking. Start with some inking. I have some distresses on my table. That's what we're using today. We're gonna use some purple. I think we'll add it to our bag journal as one of the things we can put in there. So I'm going around the outside here. Like that. And now this is probably gonna go in a page like this, and then we might use that flap to glue it. So I'm going to ink this side as well. So it just depends on how you like to decorate your things for your journals. I'm going to do both sides of the flap because I'm not exactly sure where it's going. So I'm just going to kind of hit everything that I think would add a little extra interest. So edge of the pocket here. I'm going to hit this crease just a little bit where this torn paper edge is. And that was more than I anticipated. That's okay. All right. Okay, so this side. So now, since this is going to kind of be the front, because I really like these sunnies, and it's going to open like this, or we can add a thing put it onto a pocket to make a flip sideways. Oh, that's a fun idea. So let's probably do that. But let's add a little decoration up here. Excuse me. A sip of coffee quick. We don't have to do anything too extravagant and too fancy because it already is pretty. But let me grab, yes. Let's do this, okay? So this I'm gonna put kind of up here. So I'm just gonna add a little stenciling up in the top corner across where we have some text, and then bring it down a little bit. Okay, isn't that fun? Just like that. And you could be done if you wanted to, but of course we're not done. So let's see what else we have hanging around here on the desk. We might have some other cute little goodies that will be really fun. I'm looking. Oh, here we go. Here's a little tabby. So I have this. Let me cut this out really quick. This cute little flag. Oh, there are just a couple of flies over in my window in here. So this, where I work, it's a shed, but we use it for all kinds of stuff. Oh, you know what? I need to use this tiny butterfly. My little boy found this paper cutout on the couch yesterday. I don't know if you can see this tiny butterfly that's laying right here. But he was insistent that I needed to use it for my journal books. And he was very excited that he found it. And he was like, I'm going to go put it on your desk so you can use it. I'm like, okay, bud. This is pretty cute. How about a little piece of fabric? Let's do that. I mean, a little piece of fabric handy, or lace. That would be cute too. I need to clean my desk up. It is a little bit of a disaster. It really is. So I go from project to project sometimes because I have a lot going on. And so I haven't gotten to do a really good revamp kind of cleanup here. Okay, here's a piece of rickrack. Let's do that. That's fun. Maybe, what else we got? Okay. This piece of, this is like paper. Burlap paper. It's got cardstock on one side and then burlap on the other. Oh, come on, Nance. Make it at least semi-even. That's better. So I think that and that. So we're going to glue this one down really well. Oh, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to staple the rickrack onto this first really quick. No, I'm not. It's too late. I already have glue on here. So I'm going to put that up there. And then we'll throw this one on there. Also just shows you what you can do with a few little bits and pieces, right? Just grab a couple random things, see what happens. And then I feel like this needs like a little background. You know what? Let's use this piece of book page. And let's ink it just a titch. Yeah. This will be cute. All right. Throw that on there. And then I'm going to hit this with a tiny bit of this green. I'm just going to drag it across the edges of the ink. Not a lot, just a little hint. And then put this here. Perfect. Okay, so there you have it. There's one all finished, beginning to end. See, there is a fly. Oh, my goodness. Seriously, yes. Okay, like that. Now, if we want to put this in a book, I wish I had a smaller journal I could show you. I do. Let me see. Got one down here. Just as an example of how or what you can do with these. So you could turn it into a corner tuck this way. If we hadn't decorated this side, we decorated the other. You could put it this way to make a corner tuck, a pocket, and then you can decorate the flap as well. You could also put it on the wrap around the top of your page, and then it flips like that. If you're going to do that, make this a little deeper, okay, and a little bit more square. It'll be easier to get things in and out of if you do that. And then it looks fun on the other side too, and you can turn that flap into a little tuck too. So you just would put the glue right along here and then tuck it up like so, wrap it around, and then you could have this side to decorate, and that could be a little tuck spot as well. Another option is, and this is probably not, so here's a pocket. You could tuck a whole thing into a pocket like that, and you could have some little ephemera and goodies tucked inside that envelope to discover and be like, ooh, what's in here? So you could put your secrets, you could hide your secrets inside these, seal them up, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I don't have, this is one of my more plain journals that is meant for people to decorate on their own. I make the base and give you some goodies, and then it's up to whoever buys the journal to make it beautiful and spectacular. I just give you a base. Okay, so there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you want to continue to see some of these kinds of videos, if there's some other ideas of some things that you would like to see as well. Please do let me know. But otherwise, you have a good day, and don't forget, art with your heart. You never know what you're going to make. Bye.